My name is Jeri Muchura. I am a documentary photographer for the past, wow, I've been a photographer for a very long time, probably almost 20 years now. I've done a lot of portrait work and documentary, a lot of lifestyle work. I have won a couple of awards, I've been published. I have my work exhibited in galleries in Kenya, in Nigeria, in Morocco. So yeah, in terms of photography, that's who I am. I started this because I was bored. I am a self-taught photographer, a graduate of the University of YouTube and Google. So what I used to do is just, I Google, this is what you do, I do it. This is what you do, I do it. And maybe in 9 months of doing that, I did the Safaricom Capture Kenya Challenge, where I was a finalist. And that is how I won my first award. So for me, photography has, I usually say photography saved my life, because by the time I'm picking up a camera, I was married with 2 children under 5, and I was very bored and depressed. So photography gave me a new lease of life. Our relationship with YESE started a while back. We have been in each other's DMs trying to find a way how we can connect. And the TOT course or teaching experience was the doorway to building this wonderful partnership. So we've just finished 3 weeks of a training of trainers workshop, and there's a lot of potential. The thing about photography is, once you see what it can do for you, you want to give that knowledge to others. And through this class, we have been able to grow like a new generation of storytellers and of trainers with the passion to teach photography and to at least change lives wherever they go. The dandoro that was in my head is not what I found on the ground. That's a beautiful thing, because stereotypes exist, and when you go to experience a place, that's how you break the stereotypes. Number 2, there is a lot of passion that I have found within the YESE cohort, and they are destined for great things. As we keep saying, practice makes permanent before it makes perfect. So with a lot of practice and putting things on the ground, I believe that we can grow cohorts out of now this one that we've had. So at Photostart, one thing that we believe, the guiding force for us, is the youth need to tell their story their own way with their own words. So now for me as a photographer, when I've been given assignments to go into a place, I don't know the story of the place. I don't know the history. I don't know the people in the place. I'm just coming to do a job. But when we partner with organizations like YESE to train storytellers, visual storytellers, either photography or videography, for them to own their story and tell it their own way, there's a lot of change that will happen, a lot of authentic storytelling that will happen, and we will stop these people like us who come into societies or communities and tell a really biased story of that place. When the youth own their story and then they become the agents of change, we will get the real story now of Dandora. There's a Nigerian saying that says, until the lion tells the story will always glorify the hunter. We at Photostart believe it's time for the youth, who are now these lions, to learn how to tell their stories. Because for so long, so many people have told the story of Dandora. If you ask anybody from outside, tell me about Dandora, they'll say crime, they'll say it is dirty, they'll say dump site. But when I've come here, there's stories of resilience, stories of strength, stories of overcoming, beautiful stories of youth who are doing big and greater things. We don't get to hear that stories because we are very biased in our storytelling when we are outsiders coming in. But when the people within the communities learn these essential skills, they can change the narrative and change the story of who they are and where they're from, and that begins like a domino effect of change within now themselves first and outside. So I'm an educator at heart. I'm a teacher. I realized that empowering and impacting people is what I love doing the most. So when you share knowledge and then you see effort behind the learning, and then you see the light bulbs and the dots finally connecting, and then that person now comes out and he or she is not as what they were day one. For me, that was like crowning moments when you see every day the confidence just growing and growing and growing. I think that for me was such a big moment during the TOT.
I've learned about lessons that just teaching is not just teaching. You must plan and understand what you are going to plan and how you are going to drive it. It is very much paramount. It saves times, it gives direction, it monitors everything.
You see, teaching is not just in class. It's sharing knowledge, whatever. Like what happened today was people who have never had a chance to hold a camera, held a camera. Someone who never knew anything about photography today learned something about photography. So it's for them to take the skills that they have, and as they practice, they show someone else. One of the photostat pillars is each one teach one, and that's how we grow. By sharing your knowledge forward, you essentially keep learning. So by next year, my expectation is when they come back and we have a new cohort of people who know nothing about photography, that they are going to take now the giant step and now start training. The more they train, and that's what they realized, is the more they train, the more they retain the knowledge of photography. And that will inevitably make them better photographers.
I want to thank YESE, the photostat. They have really helped me as an individual. Kwanza mi courage nimeigain, sitafadhali. Public speaking, sitafadhali naweza fanya.
You know, knowledge is not like a light bulb where you switch it on and ta-da, you have something. Practice does not make perfect instantly. Practice makes permanent before it makes perfect. Let me repeat it again. Practice makes permanent before it makes perfect. What this means is the more you practice something, the more it becomes muscle memory, the more it lands in your system, then you can perfect it.